Hi boys and girls, and welcome to the next part 2 piece or video on the restoration of this Emerson radio. Now I did confirm, I got an email from Mark, and the new dial cover is coming. So yeah, I can just put my finger right through that. I'm not supposed to do that. This is supposed to be nice and solid and clear, just like the one we got in the Stradivarius radio. So I figured I'd spend a little time on the cabinet, and then I did neglect to check the tubes on the radio chassis, so we'll talk about that too. So first of all, let's talk about the cabinet. The owner of the radio had asked me if I could just kind of, you know, do some cabinet touch-up and make it look real nice again without, you know, taking the cabinet to some furniture or finisher that would probably do a really good job, if not too good a job, and make the radio look too good. But this radio apparently at one time maybe had been dropped on the floor or fell off a table or something like that. It's not perfect. So what we're going to do is we're just going to try to touch things up and keep some of the patina, but make the radio look a little bit better than it does now. Now, if you remember from the first video, I pointed out that it had this crack going down on the side of it, and then if you look over here, there's actually a split here. But I also noticed here that someone had done a repair along here, and I'm really not sure what they used to do the repair. I don't know if they used wood glue or anything like that. So at the risk of not trying to damage it, because this is actually a very, very thin layer that was applied to the actual wooden piece of the radio, I could probably try to wet this and try to lift it and everything, but there's always that risk that I might break it, and I don't have another one of these. So what I'll do is I'll just leave this alone. There's not really much I can do with that. I'll even leave this little crack in there just to, you know, this is what I'm talking about with the patina. Also, there's a little bit of a nerf right here on the front. I'll leave all that intact, and I'm even going to try to salvage this sticker. I'll just leave that alone. That says Emerson. Here, let me get it in a better spot so you can see it. It says Emerson Radio and Television. So even though this is a 1942 radio, there was a lot of talk about TV, and they was displayed at the 1939 World's Fair, some of the real early TV stuff. So anyway, so before I do that, I did notice something else with the radio, that it was oh, I also cleaned out the dust inside. Getting a little carried away. Let me get a light, see that better. So all the dust balls and everything are gone. I blew all that out. I would imagine in this place, you see where it's a little bit lighter here? I think there might have been a label there at one time, and it may have just dried up and gone. I'm just speculating. I'm not really sure. One thing I did notice is, take a look at this corner. I went to pick up the radio. Look. Whip. That's not good. I would imagine that. See that? And that all lifted up. So before we do much anything, we're just going to glue that up. And then maybe we'll remove this handle and just get it ready for that. And it's just easy to remove. There's some pins here, and you pull the pins out and the springs come off, and then the handle will just lift up right off the top of the radio. And like I said, I've got another handle that I'm going to put on here, but I'll put that handle on here after we addressed the touching up and making the cabinet nicer again. Alrighty, so we've taken all the loose. I found a third corner that wasn't very tight either, so I put some glue to that. So we've got everything glued and clamped, so we'll need to let that dry overnight. I've also removed the old dial cover, so basically the dial cover's gone. I also took the handle off the top, so basically it's going to be ready to be prepped once the glue is dried. So let me show you what I found with the tubes. Alright, so if you remember from the first video, I explained that this is what was called an AA5 or All-American 5 tube set in this radio. Let me explain what that is, and you folks that are just, you restore these things all the time, fast forward about 45 seconds to a minute because I just want to explain to the newbies what that means. All American 5 was just basically a tube combination that went into a lot of American radios. There's variations of the AA5. Now this particular radio uses this size tube, and this is what they call a GT size tube. And the 5 tubes that went into these radios were 12SA7, 12SK7, 12SQ7, a 35Z5, and a 50L6. So if you took all those numbers, usually the first 2 numbers of the tube would be the filament voltage. So in this case, this radio I just showed you, 12SA7, you need 12 volts to basically make the heater element light up inside the tube, make the tube work. So you have 3 tubes, 12SA7, 12SK7, 12SQ7, all 12 volt filaments. Add all this together, okay, you have 36 volts. Now you've got the 35Z5, that's the rectifier tube. So add 36 and 35 together, and what do you get? Quick, 71 volts. Alright, I kind of cheated because I do this all the time. But anyway, the last tube is the output tube, or the audio output tube, the 50L6. Okay, so now you've got that into the equation, add that to the 71 volts for the other 4 tubes, now you got 121 volts. That's the filament string. Okay, and because you could do that, you could run these radios off of either AC or DC. It didn't matter. There's no transformer. The only reason why the rectifier tube is in there because it's most likely you're going to plug it into your wall outlet at home. So, thus the AA5. And then I can get into, there's the miniature AA5s, which is another thing, that the miniature tubes. And then there was even an earlier AA5. So if you ever hear that term All-American 5, that means it uses one of these tube sets. And then there's even little variations that I'm not going to get into it. So that's what I meant by that. Let me show you what's going on. Now in that AA5 tube set, we had 2 tubes. This is a 12SA7, and then I had a second tube in the radio, 12SK7. Now you know that when I brought up the Variac and I tested the radio after I replaced the caps, it actually started to play and work. But I've got kind of high standards for these tubes. Let me explain. Okay, this little booklet is with the tester, and I've already made the settings that I need to test the tube. Now this is the tube that I put in the radio. All right, and this is the 12SA7, and this is the, look at this, see, we got the original Emerson logo on that one. That was the original one that came on the radio. This is an RCA Victor. All right, so we're gonna put this in the tube socket. Okay. We're all good to go. Now let me focus in on the meter here so you can see. And I'm just going to set on emissions. Now once the needle comes up, if it goes into the green section on the top scale, that means that the emissions are good on the tube. So let me turn it on and just watch how long it takes to get up there. So now we're on. And now right now it's the tube is warming up just like it would if it were in the radio. You see, here's the needle coming up, and there it is. It's in the good section. And that didn't take that long, so that's a good thing. And then actually, as the tube keeps warming up, it's going to keep going up a little bit more. That's what we want. Now let me put the other tube in there and let me show you what happens. Okay, we've got the original 12SA7 in the socket. And now I'm going to turn this on and watch what happens. Okay, there it is, and it tests good. But do you notice how long it took to get there? I will not use that tube, even though it's a good tube. Because what that's telling me is that the heater element is probably on its way out. And I don't even want to bring tubes out to sell that are like that when I do flea markets and stuff like that. I test all my tubes. So I would say this tube is, I think that the heater is probably on its way out. It just took too long to get it up there. So we're not going to use that tube. All right, boys and girls, that'll be it for today. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in. If you have any, if you'd like to give a thumbs up or leave some comments, please feel free to do so. If you want to talk to me or have a question for me, if you're a fan or you got quite a technical question or otherwise, you can send it to me through my email, my Gmail account. My email address is radiowild67@gmail.com. So shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to keep up and answer all your questions. So next video we'll do on this radio is we gotta let the cabinet dry, and then maybe we could start on that, or we could start going through the rest of the capacitors and resistors in the radio. So get that ready to go, and then hopefully sometime next week we'll get the new dial cover, and we'll get to see what that looks like. We'll open it up and see what it looks like out of the box. So hey, thanks for tuning in. Take care. Bye.
On the NBC each night you hear three tones ring out. They have a special meaning, so here's what it's all about. I love